Previously on Quality Policing Extra.
Body cameras, the ultimate transparency and protection against police encounters that go bad.
Body cams have been held to be the most important solution to police transparency in America. After a series of controversial police shootings,
Tamir Rice,
Dylan Taylor, Samantha
transparency
Ramsey
was really what America needed. To many, body cameras meant that we could see the scene, and when the cop lied, the video would show it. President Obama moved swiftly to get cameras on as many officers as possible.
50,000 additional body-worn cameras for law enforcement agencies.
And then, no reduction in officer-involved shootings, no reduction in controversial incidents. Body-worn cameras do provide transparency. What is transparent, though, is the question. We absolutely get to see more of when cops do bad things.
The big problem, of course, is that the police control the button.
What prosecutors mainly use the video for is to get a plea deal faster.
The community thinks, hey, you got this for officer accountability reasons, but all you're using it for is to prosecute people.
Cameras do protect good people on both sides of the lens. People simply presumed that it was the cops who weren't good. But video is showing that, in fact, transparency cuts both ways. Civil rights groups want to make sure there are hard and fast rules around when cameras roll and for how long. They're also pretty intensely interested in how those videos influence reports. Civil liberties groups believe that police have the advantage when it comes to body-worn cameras, not just because officers control the record button, but the playback button as well. Regardless of whether there's video of an incident, as we all know from cop shows, officers have to write reports about everything they do. These reports contain lots of tick box items and, often most important, a narrative. Perhaps the biggest policy-related controversy around body cameras is over something that sounds simple. Should officers be able to view the body camera video of the event they're writing about before they write their report? Or should they be required to write their report, then be allowed to watch the video, then be permitted to write a supplement in case they see something in the video that contradicted something that they wrote about the incident? Proponents of this latter option, which is often called write, watch, supplement, say that it provides the most fair option for everyone. They fear that cops who watch a video and then write reports can unintentionally or intentionally modify what they write to match the video, as opposed to memorializing their own recollection of the incident. Cops think this is just a game of gotcha and point out that neither the video nor the officer's memories are perfect recollection tools. Few people have looked at these issues as closely as Harlan Yu at Upturn.
Upturn is a nonprofit based in Washington, D.C., and we study technology's impact on civil rights and social justice issues.
Yu believes that poor policies governing the use of body cameras and the video they produce, from access by the public to use by officers and prosecutors, strongly favor the police and the state. In The Illusion of Accuracy, a November 2017 report, Upturn argues that the lack of policy requiring write-watch supplement is maybe the single biggest barrier to justice with body cameras.
If body-worn cameras have any chance of holding police accountable for misconduct, having officers be able to watch footage before writing the reports just makes it much easier for them if they were to try to push a false frame or a false narrative to act for the camera and to do so.
Yu also points out that the police select and buy the cameras, thus giving police the advantage.
Body-worn cameras are purchased by police departments. The money comes from the police, and officers operate the cameras. If you just think about the incentives that departments and officers have, it's no surprise how camera footage is being used.
But there are a couple of real problems with these viewpoints. Most obviously, cops didn't wake up one morning and say, golly, I've got no money in my budget, so I think I'm going to go out and buy some body cameras. We need to remember why these agencies were buying up body cameras like Beanie Babies. They were pressured intensely by politicians and by civil liberties groups like Harlan's to get the cameras.
We should make sure every police department in the country has body cameras to record interactions between officers on patrol and suspects.
So I think it's a little disingenuous to say that the cameras are problematic because the police bought them. Second, with write-watch supplement versus watch-write, I've personally come to believe that write-watch supplement is ultimately better for cops. There are some really complicated but good reasons that come down to Graham versus Connor issues and proof of officer integrity and credibility in the face of protest. But I don't believe that watch-write is inherently dishonest. It's worth noting that there's not been a single case of cops getting caught engaging in this kind of skullduggery. And also, that a recent study compared officer narratives to what was seen on body video, and they found that cops' descriptions of what happened most of the time are pretty darned accurate. That study was funded by a camera maker, and 3 of the 5 scientists involved in the study declared financial interests in that firm. But they declared their conflicts properly, and the methodology looks sound. There's another study being worked on right now that isn't conflicted. It'll be released soon, and it has generally confirmed the earlier findings and expanded on them. Harlan, you and I both do believe that policies about access should be fairer, to level the playing field. For example, if I complain about a cop, I should be able to get access to the video of the incident. Policy is very important, and it requires conversation and compromise. But I don't believe that policy will fix the inherent fact that the transparency brought by body camera video in fact shows us much more terrible behavior by civilians than cops, because that's actually the transparent truth. You know who agrees with me? Harlan, you. Here's part of our Skype conversation.
I do think, though, that even if you had every one of your policy wet dreams come true, the bulk of body-worn video footage would be to prosecute civilians.
I mean, that's probably still true.
Now, that doesn't negate Yu's points about the need for good policy to level the playing field. Even if I disagree with him, he holds important and well-articulated viewpoints. To give his argument the weight it deserves, I'll point to the release by police departments of videos that make their officers look good. I understand the motivation. Police chiefs are sick of their cops being falsely accused. Here's a great example.
Stop resisting!
Help! They're attacking me!
Stop resisting!
Don't let me go!
The girl in this video was behaving like a spoiled little debutante and ended up arrested after kicking the world's most patient cop. Then she complained on Facebook that the police treated her badly, so the chief released the video. But if the chief can release that video, what's the precedent for him releasing other videos? Why won't other agencies release video that doesn't show the cops acting so well? My main point is that there are many, 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 many more videos in which civilians act badly and cops behave well. But society cares more about the incidents in which cops behave badly than it does about when civilians behave badly. With 18,000 different policies about when video gets released, calling for better and more consistent policy is understandable. Next time on Quality Policing Extra, intense public scrutiny of law enforcement always comes in cycles. In the 1990s, there were 3 important changes based on these cycles. All of them were new technologies billed as the solution to a different problem. 2 were based on use of force. The third? Dash cams. Guess what people in the 1990s said about dash cams. That's next time on Quality Policing Extra.